Demon Slayer Mugen Train is a Japanese animated dark fantasy action film that's directed by Haruo Sotozaki. This is a direct sequel to the first season of the Demon Slayer television series, which has received pretty heavy traction and recognition in only a couple of years. The film picks up immediately to the second of where the last episode leaves off of, with the same voice actors also coming back to collect their coins for their character roles. Mugen Train is still only in theaters, yet it has absolutely been destroying box office records in Japan, overseas, as well as even here in North America. Demon Slayer Mugen Train follows our three main leads, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, as they embark on their next mission to assist Flame Hashira, Kyojuro, Rengoku in a hunt for a demon that's been kidnapping people on previous train routes. They eventually come face to face with a lower ranked demon named Enmu, who possesses supplemented sleep enchantment powers. As they try to defeat the demon and rescue the passengers on board, the group has pushed their limits as they attempt to complete their assignment and keep themselves alive. If you're gonna see this movie, it's strongly recommended, if not imperative, that you watch the first season before seeing this. If you don't, you could still enjoy it, but your lack of context will raise you more questions than answers and potentially hamper your viewing experience. The movie isn't standalone or non-canonical. It's a rarity that does move the overarching story forward in congruence with the TV series. With that said, if you're any sort of fan of the show, this is a home runner hit. It takes a section of the manga that I could easily see being dragged out in some parts, but it moves the story speedily along with the new villain. This is a blast in terms of retaining the same elements of the show and simply amplifying the stakes that many would expect with a feature film. The story itself is rather simplistic in totality, but what happens all in between is exhilarating to watch, hilarious in the downtime, emotionally driven, and it nicely unravels more intriguing details to the world of Demon Slayer and what's to come in the future. They deliver on the visual spectacle. The sequences are thrilling, fast-paced, salient, and strikingly animated. Seriously, it's sometimes wondrous to see how much further we can push animation with today's age. The main villain is well written. Given the runtime, he's sadistic, gleefully evil, and has interesting special powers to bring to the scene, so he's a solid addition to the antagonist roster. But the real show stealer here is Rengoku. The guy is plain and simply a badass. You barely see him for an episode in the series and don't think too much of him, but yeah, after this, everyone's putting respect on his name. He's ambitious, zealous, and quite the exemplary leader of someone his status. Some light critiques for Mugen Train, though, are its lack of character development for the leads, as well as the 3D animation choices for the latter half of the film. There's a period of time where you spend inside the Demon Slayer's subconsciousness, and that part of the movie is actually pretty engrossing. I love the concept behind it. You find out more about the characters' motivations, their families, beliefs, how their inner self thinks. However, that dream sequence section is mainly focused on Tanjiro and somewhat on Rengoku. Zenitsu and Inosuke get maybe a minute, if that, each, and I would have really liked to uncover more personal background on those two. But I do think it's absolutely hysterical that in his subliminal mind, Zenitsu is a horn dog through and through. He wants to wipe up Nezuko so badly that when someone invades his subconscious while he's in a deep slumber, his psyche is the only thing there. Just pitch black, nothingness, and his soul chasing away any intruder so that he can make out with Nezuko in peace. He's a real one. He just wants a woman, and that's really the only thing he genuinely cares about. Again, though, the center of attention for the dream sequence is on Tanjiro, and we don't find too much about Zenitsu or Inosuke, and it's slightly disappointing because it felt like they're being sidelined for Tanjiro. Even Nezuko herself is heavily underutilized in this project. She maybe gets 2 minutes at best, if that. And on the 3D animation point, without spoiling too much, once the villain transforms, then you know what I mean if you saw it, the CGI sometimes looks jarring and too contrasting of the Demon Slayer animation. The maroon and faded red colors end up clashing too much with the highly saturated animation, and then it can look a little off-putting and smeared in a few instances. Really though, all in all, this is a thoroughly fun ride. From start to finish, you get the usual conversation clips, the intense battle sequences, Tanjiro crying his eyes out, and in my opinion, one of the most unexpected yet captivating fights from any anime standpoint. The longer that battle went, the bigger the stakes and the wider the gap the Demon Slayers become apparent of for Tanjiro and the gang. I give Demon Slayer Mugen Train an optimistic 8, and let's get the next season going. If you're a fan of this, you know this is a really great anime, and if you've not seen it yet, get to season 1 and go see this movie because you need to get on this train, literally. Till next time, guys.